Okay.
You won't be surprised to know that my personal hero is a dancer, but you might not expect her to ride motorcycles or host what she called a human rodeo, but these things are all true. To me, a hero is a person who puts the needs of others ahead of their own. A person who doesn't waste time in judgment of others, but instead accepts them for who they are, celebrates their individuality, and maybe even encourages everyone around them to achieve their full potential. My personal hero has definitely done this for me, and hundreds, if not thousands, of other people who have met her. Her name is Amy Sigil. She is the leader and teacher of a dance troupe known as Umata out of Sacramento. And every time I go down to Sacramento, I try to pay a visit. She definitely is not your average dancer, and she meets my definition of a hero. I first met Amy Sigil and a few members of Umata in 2004 at a workshop that I attended in Medford. I was told, as a young dancer, well, young in the dance sense anyway, that I would need a little knowledge of tribal style dance to succeed in this workshop. And I was a little cocky, and I thought, I know everything there is about this dance, so I'll be fine. Well, I was ready for a challenge, and I met that challenge in 2004. I was in the back row. I was struggling. I could barely keep up. Actually, I couldn't. I saw 4 dancers from Sacramento put on this amazing show of fluidity and communication. I learned there was no choreography to their moves, but simply a vocabulary of movement that they could share wordlessly because of their dedication and practice. And I was absolutely entranced. But there I was in the back row, groaning and struggling to keep up. People even turned to look at me. Who's the loser in the back row? And when I left that studio, after a couple hours of intense work, I was exhausted and inspired and full of adrenaline. And I knew something had to change, and that something was me. If I wanted to keep up with Umata or even come close, I had to lose some weight and really dedicate myself to the dance once again. In the spring of 2005, before any of you guys knew me, I lost about 60 pounds. And it was not because I paid Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers. It was simply because I took a different approach to life, eating healthier, starting every day with dance, and making sure to incorporate some kind of activity into every hour practically. And in 2007, I was very excited to be invited to perform in Bend, Oregon with Amy Sigil on the same schedule. And I was just thrilled. I took a workshop with her in the afternoon. I was able to keep up this time. And when I walked out on stage and started my carefully choreographed, planned routine, I heard Amy Sigil squeal. And promptly I forgot the whole thing and had to make it up as I went along. But I felt like I did okay. In 2009, she and Umata hosted what's known as the Human Rodeo. And in that venue, dancers, male and female, performed the roles of ponies, bulls, matadors, and even a stagecoach driver. It was revolutionary, as all of Amy Sigil's work has been. She's introduced pops and locks to belly dance. She's moved away from traditional styles of music and incorporated rap and hip-hop and all kinds of other genres. And she definitely embodies Beowulf's noble principles in several ways. Self-reliance is a key. She hasn't always had the support of her family or her fellow dancers or anyone. I've even heard there was a time she was alone and lived for a couple of years with very little at her disposal or in her possession. But she managed to persevere and stick it out. She has since gained the respect of many in the belly dance community and beyond. She is world-renowned. She's been invited and sponsored to perform in places like France, Taiwan, Russia, the Netherlands, and she even came to our own Siskiyou County a few times and performed in Etna, California. She'll be back in May, so if you want to meet my personal hero, you'll have the opportunity at the Big Belly Dance Show in May of 2013. I wouldn't be where I am today if I hadn't met Amy Sigil. And the men and women of her dance troupes and students would probably say the same. She celebrates everyone's contributions, everyone's individuality, and doesn't limit or judge based on gender or talent or height or weight. She's very accepting. The studio she runs is known as Hot Pot. And like the cauldron of Macbeth's witches, powerful magic is brewed there, and I will be forever under the spell